When you're branded, you will attract the capital. It will come to you. You're no longer looking for it, it will look for you. So the one thing most of you are missing, vast majority of you are missing, I was admittedly missing up until a few years ago, is brand. So how do you build it? A brand is a relationship. A brand is a promise. It creates certainty and familiarity with your investors. Here's the best part, guys. When you're branded, you will attract the capital. It will come to you. You're no longer looking for it, it will look for you. So the one thing most of you are missing, vast majority of you are missing, I was admittedly missing up until a few years ago, is brand. So how do you build it? That's really the question that we're going to go through here. So here's 4 major attributes to your brand that I've learned over the years. The first one is high status and competence. So my favorite suit that I ever bought was a Canali suit. And if anyone's ever bought the Canali suit before, you probably know the story about the wool, how it's spun, the animals it comes from, how the whole process works, the milling, the whole development. And because of all that story and the backlog of it and the old Canali family in Italy and things like this, that suit will set you back $3,000 to $5,000. Because of the whole story, because of the whole brand. You can buy similar suits with a similar cut that aren't Canali for $1,000, but it doesn't have the brand, it doesn't have the name. I only know this now because when I'm trying to buy duplicates or triplicates, you want to save some cash, but ultimately you learn about it the hard way. So high status. Who in this room has ever invested with somebody who they thought was below them in status? No one. That's called charity. As harsh as it sounds out loud, that is called charity. If you ever give someone money that is at a lower status, perceived or real in life, that is charity. So there's a disconnect for a lot of people where their status doesn't align with what they're trying to accomplish. Why do you think there are brands like Gucci and Louis Vuitton and Porsche and Bentley and half the cars in here and all these things? Is this car going to get you somewhere faster than the other cars? Probably not. So what's the difference? It's status. We all human beings, we all look for status. We're looking for signals of status. Whether you admit it or not, we're all subconsciously looking for it. And especially when somebody with money is looking to make an investment, they're looking at people as, are they like me? Are they familiar with the things that I'm familiar with? Do they travel in the same circles that I travel within? And it doesn't mean you have to check all the boxes, but there's certain things, and the biggest one is, you have to have the high status. They have to see you as status. That's the way it works. You may be sitting there going, oh, it's bullshit, blah, 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 why should it matter? I have great deals, I work hard. Yeah, cool, so does everyone else. At the end of the day, people are looking for status. That's what it works. I'll tell you right now, I've been at this 18 years. If I ever showed up to a meeting dressed in sweatpants and a t-shirt looking for a check, it wouldn't happen. Unless you're Mark Zuckerberg in that movie, Social Media or whatever it was called, Social Network, or unless you're creating a new AI platform that no one's ever seen before, or you're Elon Musk and at this point you're just like, whatever, and you just say whatever you want. It's important to package yourself in a certain way. Think about it consciously. The second one is thought leadership. Is what you're saying worth listening to? No one will actually most people won't out loud say, I don't care what you think, but they'll think it, and that's worse. How many times have you opened up a YouTube video, just change it, never look at that thing again, never look at that person again, never watch their video again, never pay attention to what they have to say. Maybe they're brilliant, maybe they actually know where the market's going, maybe they're actually somebody who worked at CMHC underwriting for 30 years, but because they can't put a sentence together, you're like, I can't listen to this guy for 20 minutes, or this gal for 20 minutes. Thought leadership will build your brand. Now the question is, what do you have an opinion on? And that goes back to, we'll talk more about it later, is your unfair advantage. What are the things that you can talk about that people are like, yeah, right on, I will listen to him, I will listen to her. That makes sense. Arlette worked in institutional private equity. We'll get you to chat after. So if Arlette has an opinion on what's going on in the capital markets relative to X, and she decides to have a podcast on that and talk about it in terms of where the interest rate changes in the context of this, we'll listen to her, because it's like, I understand, she sat in that chair at a firm with those decisions that were actually relevant to what her job was. That's interesting. If Pavel has an opinion on where construction trends are going, or where developers are going, or where the opportunity is, or how to control your costs, or how AI is helping construction managers make better decisions, or whatever it is, this man I will listen to, because he's running a real crew, right? So what is that thought leadership like what you guys are having? Like, if Pavel was sitting there and he has what he has, and then he started trying to talk about where financing rates are going, as much as I like you, Pavel, I'm not gonna listen to you about financing. Tell me about construction, man. Like, so many of you, I listen to some of you, it's like you have these skills here, but to you, because, well, a lot of us think because we know this and it's so boring to us because we know it so well, that it's not interesting to anybody because it's not interesting to me, because I already know these things. Yet that's the thing that you should be talking about, because that's the thing people are going to go, yeah, you know, Kelly, you do luxury high-end homes, right? So if she has an opinion on where the market's going to go with $2, $3, $4 million homes, I will listen to you, because that's your game, right? So all of you have something that is relevant, and talking about that in a way where you're able to share yourself as a thought leader. What are people may not like you, but they can't ignore what you're saying. Like, here's where I come from, here's what I'm seeing. How can you argue with my world? I'm in it. So where are you going to get your best conversions? Yeah. So I'll give you some general rules of thumb for everybody. It's a good question. So the general rule of thumb is you get better conversions from events that are live, but they take more effort and they're less scalable. So for example, there's no way our business we'd be getting 30, 50, 100 leads a day if I was doing events. There's just no way. It's not scalable. I like doing this. I enjoy it. We leverage it with streaming and content and videos and things like this, but the real leverage is online, webinars, whatever it is, but your conversion rates are much lower, but your volume is much higher. But in terms of what's better for you, it depends on who your target audience is, right? Like, if you guys are, if I'm talking about you guys as my target audience, it's kind of like a quasi B2B. You're still B2C because you're kind of in between solopreneur, entrepreneur, business owner. But for most of you, if you're dealing with the end user, i.e. the investor, it's more like a B2C offer. And I would first of all work on your online game, because live events are a lot of work. Like, even logistics around something like this is weeks of work. It's just weeks. So I would really nail your online game first, like we did with our 5-day capital challenge. Like, when we did this, we had over 10,000 people go through it. So my material changed drastically from the first time I did it to the whatever upteenth time I did it, because I saw what people reacted better to. I saw where people were having the aha moment. So you guys with your investors, you'll realize that, hey, the things that you think they're excited about is like a sidebar, and the thing that they're really excited about is how you build, sustainable housing, or they're really excited about how you are managing to, combine. Like, you'll find out with your deal what the thing is that people are excited about, and it's usually not what you think. I'll tell you that right now. Actually, oftentimes it's not what you think. So that's a big piece. So, like I said, branding, thought leadership, competence and experience. So if your thought leadership is tied to your competence and your actual experience, you're in the zone. Like, literally, Pavel, his introduction could be, I've been in construction for 20 plus years. We've built up our construction company to 180 staff. We, work on multiple projects at a time. I see all the inefficiencies that are going on out there. There's a lot of waste to construction here, here, here. So we started ABC Real Estate Company because we can actually capitalize on that margin and make a much better return. There you go. Like, it ties it all in. It explains the why I do what I do, how it relates to this, and how everybody benefits. And it's an immediate kind of fuse. It infuses everything together. And all of you have this. Again, same thing with you, Kelly. I mean, to make my point, Kelly deals with high-end homes, right? High-end homes in Uxbridge, I think it is? GTA? Okay, so So everything's a high-end home in the GTA. No, but like I know. Kelly Dills, like I see her on Facebook, and by the way, your brand's fantastic. Just so you know, your brand is fantastic, luxury, high-end, like you appeal to a certain customer, and I know you know that, right? The point is, what's her unfair advantage on the investment side? Well, the people that buy $2, $3, $4, $5 million homes are the people that can write $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 checks, because they're buying those homes. So that's an immediate unfair advantage from a totally different perspective than what most of us would think, right? So it's a function of just leaning into that. That's the big piece. And the fourth one is the trustworthiness. Does your brand show trust? So here's a really simple example. If you go to my website, marsondrose.com, you'll see testimonials, all the testimonials. Why? Because what's the fastest way to build trust with people? Social proof. It really is. Show me people like you, show me people like me, pardon me, that have been done right by you. Because what's the first thing you guys all do when you look at a testimonial? I know I do it. I try to find somebody like me. I don't know if you guys want to admit this or not, but I do it. I caught myself doing when I look at other products or services. I scroll down, I try to find somebody close to my age, you know, potentially dressed the way I would dress, and I just try to see what they would say. That's the first one. If I like that one, I might watch a few more. So all of you should be collecting testimonials. If you haven't started it yet, you should do it. And there's an easy way to do it. If you have raving fans, your core champions, the people that want to see you succeed, they will happily hop on a video for 20 or 30 seconds. They don't know what to say, help them out. We literally have scripts for that. Talk to Brian, talk to Ved, talk to Vince, our team. Like it's in the training. Like we literally show you how to create a very easy, seamless way to ask people for testimonials. And if you've done right by them, they would do it. Our members, when we ask them to do testimonials, like, yeah, sure, no problem, here, like, let's do it. Because we've been of service to them. So who are the people that you've been of service to? Now, if you're sitting there and you're like, well, I haven't done any deals yet, I haven't raised any money. Okay, get character testimonials. What was the first thing most of you did when you try to get your first jobs and you never had any experience? You get your parents' friends to write letters about how great you are, right? So you can show the employer that, hey, Jeremy's reliable, I coached him in soccer, I did all these things, he helped out in Boy Scouts. Why did we do that? It was social proof. This is just a further version of that. This is what this is. Now, how do you do it consciously? Well, you build it into your SOPs, into your systems. For example, when we do boots on the ground, part of my team, one of our procedures is we pull a few people aside and say, hey, do you mind doing a testimonial for us? Sure, no problem. So as we're touring the property, we take the camera crew aside. By the way, you don't need to hire a camera crew. I don't want to hear that excuse either. Take your bloody iPhone, okay? These things are so good nowadays. You just put a little fuzzy microphone on it and you're good to go. And literally just shoot a quick little video. Have it cut down. They got tools now that will do it for you on top of it all. Right? But just consciously think of that through. Because that's what your potential investors are looking for. Oh, by the way, if you're at a point where you still don't have any investors or you don't have any capital, but you're trying to convince a seller that you can buy, what better way than to have a website with a whole bunch of social proof saying, hey, this guy's a good guy, or Denise is solid. I mean, you're not BSing, you're not saying you got the money, but hey, these people believe in me. So your offer and someone else's offer show up. Whose offer is more compelling? That's social proof.